Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss about VAT related questions regarding e-commerce business in the UAE. Today I have with me Viba from Horizon Business Consultancy. She's an expert in VAT matters and we always rely on her when it comes to VAT related questions. So before going to my questions, I just wanted to clarify that the questions that we are going to discuss are mostly related to trading of e-commerce, whether it's selling through your own platform, e-commerce platform, or whether it's through selling through third-party platforms like Amazon or Noon.com. So, Viba, if you can just tell about yourself and what you specialize in, and then we can go ahead with the questions.
Yeah, so hello everyone. This is Vibha here. I'm from Horizon Based Consultancy. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. Our specialization is tax consultancy services, and we deal with Miraziz since long with a lot of VAT clients. And nowadays we are coming up with lots of queries from e-commerce clients because this COVID changes the
Yes,
scenario of business
exactly.
a lot, and lots of small businesses also coming online. So today we are going to discuss about the scenarios of taxation, or we can say VAT, when it comes to the online businesses. So yeah.
Okay, perfect. So the question I have shortlisted based on the questions I get from the viewers, the people who are watching my videos and then coming up with questions. So one of the common questions is what are the factors to consider from the VAT perspective before setting up your business in the UAE?
Okay. So for VAT perspective, you need to consider whether you want to register your company in mainland or in free zone. And then again, when it comes to free zone, then from VAT perspective, there is a difference between free zone and designated zone. So you need to check before incorporating your company that whether you want to go for mainland or for free zone. And then again, there are the listed free zones by the FT authority, which are the designated zones. So you
Okay.
need to check whether you want to go with designated zone or free zone, because the taxability of VAT changes according to these company incorporation places.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
So you want to say that not all free zones are designated zones. Only
No.
some free zones are
Yes,
designated zones.
yes,
Okay.
yes. This is a very important point which you need to consider from VAT perspective, and many uh, when many people make mistakes on that part, that
Okay.
they when they are incorporating, they're not inquiring whether it is free zone or it is mainland.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So just to brief, people should take into consideration about their business model and about whether mainland free zone or designated zone is suitable for their
Yes.
business model,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Okay.
And again, then for because in e-commerce there are two type of structure, you can say. Once you need to register your company, then if your goods, you are storing your goods in UAE only, then you are looking for warehousing options also. So this is again a very important part in e-commerce business. Then you need to choose where you are going to have a warehousing channel partner,
Okay.
because it again depends where is your warehousing partner, the your VAT liability. So if it is in designated zone, then the liability is different. If it is in mainland, then liability is different. So there are different scenarios which we are going to talk further regarding the
Okay.
same. Yeah.
Perfect. So when it comes to VAT, uh, do all companies need to register for VAT upon incorporation immediately, or there is some sort of a threshold, upon reaching,
Yeah.
then they become liable to register for VAT?
Yeah, there is a threshold. There are
Okay.
two kind of registration in VAT.
Okay.
One is voluntary and another is mandatory. So for voluntary registration, the limit is 187,500 dirham. And for mandatory registration, there is a limit of 375,000 dirham. So
Okay.
it is $100,000 around.
Okay.
So if your sales in last 12 months, or it may be in 1 month or in few days, exceeds this limit, then you have to register for yourself for VAT. But then again, here is a very important point in this e-commerce platform. If you are a non-resident and you are doing this business, then there is no threshold for the same. You have to register yourself from the first day itself.
So when you say non-resident, can you clarify a little bit more? Do you mean the company registered outside the UAE, or if the person
Yeah, the
is
company
outside?
register outside
Outside.
the UAE. If the
Okay.
company register inside the UAE, then it is considered as a resident,
Okay.
because the here both are the different entities, the person who is the owner of the business and the company. So
Mm-hmm.
if the company is in UAE, then it means it is a resident company, and they need to consider the threshold for registration. But if any individual just using the platform and they are register, they are dealing in UAE and there is no company registration, they are doing business through foreign entity,
Mm-hmm.
then they have to register without any threshold.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's clear.
Yeah.
Can you give us examples of taxability of VAT for different structures, whether it's through mainland company or free zone or designated zone based companies?
Yeah, so let's divide the scenarios. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
for example, in one scenario, the company is incorporated in mainland,
Yeah.
and then again the warehouse is again in mainland. Warehouse partner is in mainland. So then when goods are coming, then you
Mm-hmm.
need to report import of goods at the moment when the goods are coming. When you are selling goods to mainland, then there has to be VAT of 5% on the same. But when you're exporting your goods outside the UAE from this UAE entity,
Mm-hmm.
then you need to report export of goods in your VAT returns. There is a reporting. So here it's a very important what you need to report and what you did not need to report the same.
Mm-hmm.
So if it is both are mainland, then if you're importing, then also you need to report. When you're selling in locally in Dubai, then or in it's not Dubai, it's UAE, then you need to charge 5% for the sale.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Then the second scenario, for example, you have a mainland incorporation company, and your warehousing channel partner is in designated zone. So
Mm.
here it is in designated zone, not free zone. So if it is in designated zone, so your goods are going to store in designated zone. So
Mm-hmm.
when you are importing the goods, there is no reporting
Mm.
until the time the goods are in designated zone.
Okay.
But when there is a order or there is a sale for mainland for UAE, then you need to charge 5% on that sale, and you need to report import when the goods are into the sale process, not at the time of when goods are staying at a designated warehouse. And the custom is also comes in the picture
Mm-hmm.
when you are selling the goods.
Mm.
Until the goods are remaining in the designated warehouse, there is no custom on the same.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah. So this is about mainland company. If you have then different options you have for warehousing, then maybe then your company is itself incorporated in designated zone,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have a warehousing partner is again in the same designated zone, or different designated zone may be possible. Then when you're importing anything, there is no reporting. When you're exporting anything from that company, there is no reporting.
Mm.
It just the reporting comes in the picture when you're selling anything to mainland companies or within UAE.
Okay.
So this is a structure is mainly for those businesses who just want to have the privilege of Dubai transportation and
As
logistic
a hub
facility
for
as a.
trade, basically.
Yes,
Okay, all
yes,
right.
yes.
How about dropshipping business? Like, as you know now, many people are opting for dropshipping business
Yeah,
where they don't have a warehouse.
yeah.
What they do is they take an order through their e-commerce platform
Uh-huh.
from the customers
Uh-huh.
and then directly place an order to the supplier
Mm-hmm.
or a manufacturer,
Mm-hmm.
uh, probably in other country like
Mm.
China or other countries where the
Yes, yes, yes,
manufacturing happens,
yes.
and the suppliers directly deliver to the customers.
Mm, mm.
So is this model also taxable? Like, do they also fall under the same VAT regulations?
Yeah, they fall under the VAT regulations because they are providing services or services of through e-commerce platform. Then again, it depends on their structure. So
Mm.
if they don't incorporate in UAE and they are doing trading only through the platform
Yeah.
e-commerce platform, then first of all they need to register from the first transaction itself because there is no threshold for the same. And second, when they are selling anything in UAE, they have to charge 5%, and they have to pay custom also 5% on the same, and they need to report import of goods and the local sale of the goods in VAT returns.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
I think in the drop shipping business model, the custom clearance and paying the custom duty
Yeah.
is basically handled by the shipping companies.
Yes.
And the clients, what I understand from you, they need to be aware of the VAT liability.
Yes.
And they need to basically follow the regulations when it comes to the
Yes,
VAT,
yes,
right?
because there is a 5% custom, then there is a 5% VAT on the local sale.
Okay.
So they need to work out on the margins and their cost, everything accordingly. Because to get a good shipping partner for the same is again a challenge. So you need to figure out all the elements when you are willing to start your company in UAE.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
So now we discussed about things to consider before starting a business. Now, once the business is established, what the customers need to be aware of once they start their operations?
Yeah. So first of all, if you have a company here and you are importing the goods for your e-commerce business, then you should have a custom number, of course. Then your custom number should link your VAT or registration number, because if that is not linked, then you have to pay 5% at the time of clearance of goods.
Okay.
So this is a very important part which you need to take care. So if even, for example, you're not able to meet the threshold of registration, which I mentioned 187,500, and you are not registered for VAT, so till the time you're not registered for VAT, you have to pay 5% at the time of clearance of goods. So this is an additional cost, from business perspective, 5% custom, then addition on that 5% VAT. So I advise to register for VAT before you start the transaction and importing the goods. And after the registration, link your custom number with your VAT registration number, so that there is no 5% liability need to bear by the business.
Okay.
And you can directly clear the goods once it is linked without any payment. It just comes into your reporting part of VAT return, that okay, you imported this goods on this date and everything. So they have a very good system, they built up and they linked that
Everything is
together.
linked, basically.
Yeah. Then another thing is which they need, which need to be considered is the reporting of exports of goods. So exports of goods, there is no VAT. This is 0% VAT. So if you're declaring any exports of goods from Dubai, then you need to maintain the proper documents. There is a proper bill of exit, proper invoice. There is a proper receipt from foreign companies or foreign customer which with whom you are dealing. So you have the proper substantial record that you actually exported those goods. And I advise to maintain the proper books of accounts. Because in e-commerce business, the quantum of transaction is very large. If we consider with the small orders and the transactions, so it's better to keep the records, because here, as per VAT regulations, the maintenance of records is compulsory for 5 years.
Okay.
So you need to keep the track of all these things.
So there can be an inspection from the VAT or tax authorities, and they can request document for the past 5 years, whether you are registered or not registered for VAT. So the companies better need to be aware of
what they
the
need to do,
implications of not following the rules, rather than living into the destiny and then be penalized with huge penalties. Okay.
True.
All right. So as you can see, there are so many technicalities when it comes to VAT. It may sound very easy. However, when you do the operations, there are so many technicalities you need to consider from the customs perspective and from the perspective where you need to register the company, whether it's in the mainland, free zone, or designated zone. You need to research and find out which business structure is more suitable to your particular business model. For today, that's it. And if you have any questions related to setting up e-commerce businesses, you can reach out to me. If you have any questions related to VAT matters, you can reach out to Viba through Horizon Biz Consultancy. Thanks for watching this video and stay tuned.